Well, welcome to Queer Conversation. Today in the virtual studio with me is Judith Buckrich. You are an historian and an author of many books, but you have just released a book, The Making of the Victorian Pride Centre. Just looking at the cover, the building must be absolutely stunning. What motivated you to put this book together?
Well, I was asked to write the book, to put the book together by Jude Munro, who had been the chair of the board that set up the Pride Centre. But Jude and I have been friends for a long time, Jude Munro and I, and she rang me and said, would you like to write a book about the making of the Pride Centre? And I said, yes. And so that was last year, about August. So I started there and then. And I got it done in a year, which was quite a task to do, because there was really, the first half of the book is a history of the LGBTIQ community in Australia, Melbourne, Victoria, Australia, and a little bit even in the world, because I just thought you really have to understand what the situation of LGBTIQ plus people has been to understand what a victory the Pride Centre is, you know, in our community's life and history and all of those things. So I had to do that and then do, the very particular breakdown of the steps that were required for the Pride Centre to be built. I interviewed quite a few people, and then I also had the board meeting minutes, and I also, went and found all of the other annual reports, but the 15 organisations that are in the Pride Centre, I went and talked to people who represented those, but also had a look at all of their material, that they had on websites or brochures, whatever it was that they had. So it was quite a lot of research to do, plus a bit about Fitzroy Street. Fitzroy Street has been a street where there has been a lot of queer activity even before that. There were St Kilda was a place where a lot of queer people lived.
The making of the Victorian Pride Centre would have been a massive undertaking. It, I believe, started around 2017.
That's
the
right.
First sort of concepts and ideas.
After, I think, the 2014 elections, so that was the first time that Daniel Andrews was elected, they decided that they were going to fund a Pride Centre. So they put aside $15 million toward that, and that was when the process really began of how they were going to do it. And then they added another $10 million because, of course, it was much more expensive than they first thought. But the city of Port Phillip gave the land for nothing. And then the Victorian Labor government eventually gave $25 million toward building the centre, and then loaned the Pride Centre another $10 million on very good, easy ways. And then there's been a huge amount of fundraising done for the last 6 years, and these extraordinary members of the board who are just, the passion and the absolute sort of fierce determination to get the place built was something else. By Jude Munro, who had been the chair of the board that set up the Pride Centre. So she was really the extraordinary kind of dynamo that, and the board were all marvellous people too, but Jude Munro is the kind of person that you need if you really want to get something done. She will get it done. Even if it's a building that costs $35 million, she will do it. And with the board, of course, and with the help of many other people. But I think the whole thing sort of began with the Victorian government allocating $15 million toward the creation of a Pride Centre. And people like Jamie Gardner, who had been much involved with the Labor government, Victorian Labor government for years, were part of that process. Then Ro Allen, who was the first commissioner for LGBTIQ plus people. So Martin Foley was the first Minister for Equality that we had in Australia. All these people all contributed to the idea. And I think the great thing about it that happened was that the city of Port Phillip, other parts of the city, other suburbs did put in expressions of interest, but the city of Port Phillip was wanted to hand the land over to the Pride Centre free. That's it. And so it's in it's a huge block of land. I think it's by area the biggest Pride Centre in the world. There was an architectural competition, various things happened, and then we had this fantastic design. James Brearley was, the Grant Amon and James Brearley were the architects who put in their particular application, and it's won every prize, including the Australian Architecture Prize. So it's really turned into this kind of wonderful event.
It is an incredible building, and not only from the outside, but also from the inside.
Oh, the inside is even better. The inside is superb, because what you feel when you walk in there is such a feeling of calm and safety and happiness. It's really very unusual. I've never had the experience of walking into a building and feeling like that before in my life. And I really think that, I don't know what the architects did, I don't know how they do this, but they just created such a lovely atmosphere. So you walk into the building. Also, there are concierge who, a huge number of volunteers who volunteer to man, woman, gender, the concierge desk. And you go in and they straight away ask you what you're there for, and they're very helpful and charming and cheerful. And now there's a cafe, so it's even more busy. So people are just coming in off the street because it's so pleasant to be there. But yes, all of the organisations, and there's a theatre there, so that has been used a lot for all kinds of different, from the Queer Film Festival to private parties to you name it. And and of course Joy FM is 24 hours a day, so there's people coming and going all the time from there. So it's very busy, and also people are just having meetings there. You can hire a table there, or use one of the tables there. It's so they have a sausage sizzle every month, where all the craft people come and sell all their crafts, and the roof is just beautiful. You get a view from that roof like you get from nowhere else in Melbourne. You can see all of the bay and all of the city. It's just extraordinary. So you're up there, when we had the first birthday party, I was up there, and it's just divine watching the sun go down from that place. And there's a bar there. So there's a bar downstairs in the theatre, there's a bar upstairs there. So it's really accommodates all kinds of different activities, and very inviting and easy to. There's incredible amounts of public transport that you can catch to get there very easily. So, yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today in Queer Conversation, and share the book with us. It's really will be an interesting read, and there's lots of photos in there as well.
Go into the Pride Centre website, and that will tell you how to buy a book.
And it comes as a hardcover and a soft cover?
There is a soft and a hard.
Well, thank you so much. I will check out the book for sure. Thanks for joining us.